Dear aspiring ally, go with me, will you? It's fall, 2019. Now, for me, much of it was a blur. I have never worked so hard in my life. I'm talking we pulled all-nighters, constant email streams, different requests and requirements from Secret Service. My birthday was in August, and I took off, but I didn't really get to take off. You see, at the time, I was working in what I deemed to be my dream career. I was a corporate meeting and event planner. Now, the months that I gave up, I considered it a sacrifice. As far as I was concerned, it was well worth it. After all, I'd been given the rare opportunity to host an event where the President, Barack Obama, would be the speaker. So picture it. The day comes. The 5 a.m. call time is perfectly fine by me. The sooner I could get out of bed, the sooner I could reap the benefits of having completed this event. The weather was beautiful. The lighting was set, decor in place, the attendees were chatty, the food was delicious, and the libations and laughter were flowing. Before I knew it, it was 6 p.m., and I was signing off on my last agreement and waving goodbye to the last person that I needed to keep my belt and shoes on for. I did it, but it felt bittersweet. Sweet, because the event went off without a hitch. Bitter, because what should have been this celebratory moment only ended up being another opportunity for me to experience microaggressions, discrimination, and just being set up for failure. You see, a few days prior to the start of that event, I would read the documentation that listed me as the lead of this event. However, my name had been struck, and the title was given to me as a catering manager. The night before the event, I would build a makeshift photo booth. There was a limited number of people that could be photoed with President Barack Obama. Little did I know that after placing the flag in the corner and walking away that night, it would be the last time I would see the photo booth, let alone Obama. You see, I was even told the day of, if I so much as pull out my cell phone to capture an image, I'd be reprimanded. I cried myself to sleep that night. This story is painful, but I share it because it brought about what I believe was a full circle, life-changing moment. Now, don't get me wrong. I'd had my share of time spent with planning events with influentials. After all, I'd planned events with the NFL, the Golden State Warriors, Super Bowl, worked with some of the top health professionals. I worked in education, tech, you name it. When it came to meetings and events, I could plan these things with my eyes closed and my hands behind my back. Listen, I'm from Louisiana. I have that charm that would go over well with what we would call VIPs in the meeting and event industry. The thing that I wasn't very good at was being a token employee. So remember that full circle moment that I talked about. Remember how my title had been deduced to catering manager after I'd spent an entire fall giving up my life. So some years prior to that, I lived in Dallas, Texas. I would pack a U-Haul, and I would drive 27 hours straight. Well, not straight, but 27 hours total, and I ended up in San Francisco, California. At the time, I had been working as an event manager in an entrepreneurial capacity. My goal was to take that experience back into corporate America. I went to San Francisco State University and signed up for a fast-track meeting and event certification program. I would attend class 8 hours a day, 3 weeks, weekends included. I'll never forget saying to the instructor, "I can't wait to work in pharmaceutical meetings and events." And she replied to me, "Oh, honey, I don't know why they let you black gals sign up for this, only to waste your time and money. The only place I've ever seen them hire someone like you is maybe looking to inn and banquet services." I'll never forget the look on some of my classmates' faces. They were visibly mortified. A few of them pulled me to the side after class and apologized on her behalf. I also heard that a group of them went and reported her to the powers that be. That class ended on a Saturday. By Wednesday, I'd been hired as the manager of events for the San Francisco Chamber of Commerce. I couldn't wait to get to my computer and let the instructor know. And that's been years now, and I've yet to hear back from her. So here I was, at the end of what should have been the pinnacle of my career, but it ended up being heartbreak. And at that time, I just kept remembering what the instructor told me. I mean, perhaps she was right. Yes, I'd gotten through some coveted doors and done a whole lot more than just be in banquet services at La Quinta Inn. But at what cost? I mean, having gone through this and expecting to be in celebration and having it hurt so bad, it placed me in this position that many might refer to as rock bottom. I mean, I questioned my sanity and even my will to live at this point. And then I remembered the students, my classmates, the ones that spoke up to me. And I thought to myself, at that time, I didn't even really understand words such as microaggressions, allyship, tokenism. I certainly didn't realize how valuable it was for them to go and speak up on my behalf. So in this moment, having to remember them made me realize that there was good in the world. And I thought to myself, what if in my corporate career, I had had people to stand up for me and speak up for me the way that my classmates did? Perhaps, had I had that, I never would have considered suicide. Thank God that didn't work. You see, I had a successful business, a best-selling book, and a TEDx stage waiting on the other side for me. My classmates demonstrated true allyship that day. You see, that teacher insinuated that I did not deserve to walk through certain doors, and my classmates made it clear that this was unacceptable. Now, racism is a big topic in this country, and in my day-to-day, white folks are always saying, "Tally, how can I be a part of the solution?" And I always give one answer, and if you don't remember anything else from this talk, I want you to remember this. True allyship is opening doors for the marginalized that they cannot open for themselves. True allyship is opening doors for the marginalized that they cannot open for themselves. Now, allyship is a hot topic, and everybody kind of wants to wear like this badge of honor these days. But as you pursue your good ally badge, I'd like to give you 3 key points to consider. Number 1, allyship is a journey and not a destination. This is not something that you can quickly do. And I always say there's something about this white savior and their need for speed. And it's not that same anxiousness that marginalized people have. It's that the white person gets an epiphany, a light bulb moment. They discover, oh, racism really is real. And then they think that they can just run out there and kind of fix it in this checkbox one and done kind of way. Well, let's take Johnny, for example. Johnny, aspiring ally. Johnny has decided that he's going to go to the last neighborhood in his city that has not been gentrified. He's going to offer himself up to help. And so Johnny shows up in his red cape, his bullhorn, bells are blazing, and he looks around and he says, what could these poor people use? And he notices a wall. And Johnny decides that the wall looks atrocious. He also decides that he has everything it takes to make the wall look better. So he calls up his friends, he orders all of the supplies, and he goes to work. Now, he live streams it on Instagram Live and, all of the social feeds, and a lot of people question Johnny's authenticity. But I want to give Johnny the benefit of the doubt. Most of the time, when people pursue allyship, they have very good intentions. So he works on the wall, and then he steps back, and he wipes the sweat from his brow, and he looks around, expecting gratitude and applause. But instead, he's met by a member of the community who says, "Oh no, didn't anyone tell you that wall is a space for the elders and children to express themselves?" Dear aspiring ally, pace yourself. If you truly believe that you have what it takes to quickly fix a problem that has been stewing over centuries, that is unrealistic. Number 2, arm yourselves with knowledge and humility. Now, I understand that a lot of you go and seek education, and I also understand that allyship feels good. A few things. If all you're getting is warm and fuzzies from your approach to allyship, probably not doing it right. If your education avoids using words like white supremacy, white privilege, even racist, probably not doing the best job at it. Take Casey, for example. Casey's an aspiring ally. Now, Casey has her list of all the top anti-racism books on her fridge. She's learned all the lingo. She knows exactly what to type on social media, even when got her a certification in DEI and anti-racism, because accolades are important, right? And so Casey heard about Johnny's wall snafu, and she turned her nose up and thought, what a fool. But I would tell Casey to temper her enthusiasm with a little bit of humility, right? Because I know that we are so focused on accolades and certain types of education that seem to be our go-to. But when you truly, truly want to be an ally, you must turn away from that standard textbook education and look to the marginalized that you seek to serve. When doing that, that allows you to understand the ins and outs of their lives. You can't truly be an effective ally until you understand these people. What is it that moves them? What drives them? What motivates them? What makes them cry? What makes them laugh? What keeps them up at night? Where are they thriving? Where could they potentially use your help? That's what it takes. The other thing, when you go into these environments, you must be willing to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. If you go into these environments and you see a wall that you believe needs to be painted, I want you to lean into your curiosity. In fact, no matter what you feel as you do this, I want you to lean into your curiosity. You see the wall, stop and ask questions. You see a group of people in the neighborhood that are working and you feel that you could make them move faster, please first stop and ask questions. You feel overwhelmed, confused, stop and ask questions. Even if you find yourself feeling offended, please stop and ask questions. Number 3, use your privilege for good, okay? And I want you to create what I call this very personalized allyship plan and journey. And I know some people have flinched at the word privilege. A lot of white folks say, oh, I'm not privileged. What are you talking about? My life is hard. I went through some stuff. And I tell you, I agree with you. I know that you hurt just like I hurt. You feel pain just like I feel pain. You go through losses just like I go through losses. But you have and you will never experience these losses and this pain as a result of your skin color. And then each of you have your own unique set of privileges and perks. Certain people that you know, certain education that you've been exposed to, certain people that have influenced you, knowledge, activities, access, things that many of the marginalized people in your life will never be privy to. And so I want you to think about those things and use it as the very foundation of this allyship plan and journey that I speak of. You see, as you're doing that, I would want you to ask yourself, what is it that I know? What is it that I can teach? What doors can I open? Who do I know in high places? That's allyship. Dear aspiring ally, your inclination to hear my voice in this moment without resistance, that's allyship. To go and share this message with your family and friends, that's allyship. To search yourself through and through for how I might be able to open doors, that's allyship. The best thing about that is that that can be done today. I have you know, I want to leave you with this awareness. The very thing that you may be taking for granted could be the very thing that drastically changes or even saves the lives of the marginalized around you. Dear aspiring ally, your commitment to approaching allyship in the way that I have presented, make sure that you're doing it. It is a long-standing process. that it's effective and that it's sustainable. You doing that and committing to doing that is allowing me to embrace yet another full circle and life-changing moment. And for that, I thank you. My time.